Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in today's Monster Showcase, we're going to be taking a close look at the Chimera for Warcry. Born from the mutative caress of chaos, a Chimera is an amalgamation of beasts and all rage. From their many heads they spit flames and loose ear-splitting roars, and their sharp claws make short work of even the thickest armour. The 8 Points is home to more than just corrupted tribesmen, and monsters and beasts of all kinds dwell in this tainted land, and the Chimera is just one of these beasts and one of the great miniatures released for Warcry. And if you haven't seen all the different monsters and allies available, then I definitely recommend you check it out. But here's my one, and this was painted to this great standard by Sergey, and Sergey has got an awesome Instagram account where you can see all his different miniatures and models he's painted, and I can highly recommend you checking him out. And I'll put a link in the description below so you can find Sergey's work, and he does collaborations and he's open to commissions. So yeah, please check out his Instagram account. I can highly recommend it, and I'm so grateful to him for doing such an amazing job with my Chimera that you can see here. In this video, we're going to go through all the Chimera's fighter cards and abilities, but I'll go into a lot more detail about how to use monsters in Warcry in future videos. But you're going to see a lot of this Chimera as we start the Beasts of Chaos campaign, and he's going to feature in that, and he'll also feature in some other videos and things, so he's going to get a lot of use, and I can't wait to get him on the tabletop. Okay, let's give you an idea of the size. So we're looking at 120mm base, and then for the height of the model, up to like the highest part is about 11 centimeters, so what, 110 millimeters, and so the wingspan is pretty wide as well. There we're looking at a good 12 to 13 centimeters. So this is a real big model, but let's put some other miniatures next to it to give you an idea. And here's our Slaughter Shade with the whip, and she really is dwarfed by this beast. So imagine this on the battlefield. It's just going to look incredible. And then if we switch over for one of the Iron Golem, so hopefully you're familiar with some of these, or you may have them in your war bands. This will give you a good idea of how they compare. And then with one of my favourite miniatures from the Corvus Cabal, this dude is just walking along, not knowing what's happening, and stumbles upon this beast, and it's just going to tower over him. So that one looks awesome. And then we got the larger First Fang here, so he's a little bit bigger of a model, and even so he's still dwarfed by this awesome beast. Now we've seen the size, let's take a look at the fighter card. And for the Chimera, this is going to come in at 360 points. We're going to get the Chaotic Beast rune mark, the Bulwark rune mark, the Gargantuan rune mark, and the Flight rune mark. And there's going to be loads of abilities that we'll go through a little bit later on. The movement's going to be decided by the damage table. But the toughness is 4, and this can take a huge amount of wounds at 50. And the weapon's going to be Teeth and Claws with a range of 2, making 6 attacks, strength 6, and that damage is also going to be affected by the damage table. So let's take a look at that damage table now. And here we go, here's the damage table. So if the number of damage points allocated to the Chimera are between 0 and 10, then they can make a movement of up to 12. So a huge amount of movement there, and they can fly. So this is really great. And the damage they'll deal is going to be 5 on a hit, 10 on a critical hit. And then as more damage points are allocated to them, their movement comes down, and so does their damage output. So when they get to 11 to 20 damage points allocated to them, their movement's going to come down to 10, and the damage they put out will be 4 on a hit and 8 on a critical hit. And you can see as they get more damage going down that table, both the movement and the damage output keep going down in line with that. I'll be doing a video really soon about how to use monsters in Warcry, so look out for that coming soon to the channel. But now we've gotten the Chimera's fighter card, let's have a look at their abilities. And the Chimera itself is going to get 3 specific abilities. And the first one is a double called Tail Whip, and with this we pick a visible enemy fighter within 3 inches of this fighter and roll a dice. On a 4 to 5, allocate 1 damage point to that fighter. On a 6, allocate a number of damage points to that fighter equal to the value of this ability. So to get started, we've got this Tail Whip, nice simple double, and you're going to deal a little bit of damage here, but you know, it's not going to be a huge amount. You're only going to roll 1 dice, so don't expect too much from this one. Then we've got a triple called Leonine Roar. And until the end of the battle round, we subtract 1 from the attack's characteristic to a minimum of 1 of attack actions made by enemy fighters while they are within 6 inches of this fighter. So with this roar, they terrify the enemy and they kind of bring down those attacks as the enemy kind of pauses when that roar's confronting them. And so this is a pretty decent one to limit the amount of damage that could possibly be inflicted on the Chimera. So that's a really great triple there, and that's going to have a huge effect on any number of enemy fighters as long as they're within 6 inches of this fighter. So you can really prevent some damage being caused there. But now we're on to the quad called Draconic Head's Fiery Breath. And with this, we allocate a number of damage points equal to the value of this ability to all visible enemy fighters within 4 inches of this fighter. So if you've got a 5 or 6 for your quad, or even a 4, you can just simply allocate those number of damage points to the visible enemy fighters within 4 inches of this fighter. So as those fighters swarm you and start coming around to inflict damage, you could use this quad ability and really set them back quite a bit and possibly even take out a number of fighters in just one go here. So a really great quad for the Chimera. As well as those 3 abilities, the Chimera are also going to get these other monster abilities. And these are kind of the generic monster abilities that most monsters could use. And so, again, it's a double, a triple, and a quad. And the first one is a double called Monstrous Reach. And until the end of this fighter's activation, do not count the vertical distance when measuring the range for attack actions made by this fighter. So this is really interesting for a double if you're starting to play against something like the Corvus Cabal who are trying to use the height of the terrain in their favour. Then this double can really bring that down, and this monster can make some attacks as they lunge up onto those high points to bring down the enemy fighters. So a really great start for this double monster ability. Then we've got this triple called Drag and Maul. Pick a visible enemy fighter within 6 inches of this fighter. Remove that fighter from the battlefield and set them up within 1 inch of this fighter. Then roll a number of dice equal to the value of this ability. For every 4+, allocate 3 damage points to that fighter. So this could really do some damage here. You just pick a fighter within 6 inches and drag and maul them across the ground. And if you've got a 5 or 6 for your ability value, then for every 4+, that's 3 points of damage. That could be a serious amount, and you could really take out some of the enemy fighters with this. So these monster abilities are really great, the double and triple. But now let's have a look at the quad, which is called Demolishing Rampage. Pick a terrain feature within 1 inch of this fighter. In an order of your choice, place each objective, treasure token, and fighter that is on that terrain feature, and on any other terrain feature that is on that terrain feature, on the battlefield floor in a location of your choice as close as possible horizontally to its current location. Then, in an order of your choice, each fighter placed on the battlefield in this manner suffers impact damage. Then, remove the terrain feature. Okay, so this is a really long ability. There's a lot of conditions there and a lot of steps we need to take. And I think this will be a great example that we can use when I do the video on monsters in Warcry. And I'll do an example of each of the monster abilities so you can see it actually playing out on the battlefield. And I think that'll be the best way to go through it. But there we go. That covers all the abilities that we can use with our Chimera monster. If you like the look of this Chimera, and this is a model that you'd like to pick up for your Warcry game, then you can't get it anymore as the Warcry set. It's not available online with Games Workshop or Element Games, and I've looked on all the different local game stores. I can't find it. You may get it on eBay if you're lucky, maybe online if you have a good look around. But you can still get the model from Games Workshop. It just won't come with the Warcry cards or the ability cards, but you can find all of those in the Chaos Warcry supplement book. So you really don't need those cards to use this model in your game. And I'll put a link in the description so you can find the model if it is something you'd like to order, because I think these Warcry monsters and allies that they brought out are so good, and I think they definitely add to the game. Look out for that video coming soon where we go through how to use monsters in Warcry. And again, a huge thank you to Sergey for painting this so well. I'm so happy to have it part of my collection, and really happy to be able to show it off here so you can see it. And I can't wait to get it in action on the battlefield in my upcoming Beasts of Chaos campaign. I hope you enjoyed the video and you got a good look at what this Chimera is all about and the potential it has for painting. And thanks so much for watching. Please like if you like it, subscribe for more videos like this, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to join me next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. If you like this kind of content and would like to support the channel, then please check out my Patreon page, and thanks to everyone who's joined so far. It's really awesome. We hang out on Discord, talk about the hobby, share ideas and help each other out, and you'll get some perks there that you're not going to find anywhere else. So I'll put a link in the description and it'd be great to see you there.